I'm trying to kind of bring some of the questions, but I don't like. What is your feeling on shocking? Do you think it adds to people's campaign and reputation and notice?
Okay, so my personal opinion, stepping outside of the office, like, is that shocking has not really proven to help campaigns. And actually, like, it's like I've noticed that campaigns that focus on shocking tend to lose. Just saying. Tend, not always, of course. Like, there's always like people who don't. And essentially, it was just like Jason just believed that, you know, it's our responsibility to like improve how elections are held and campaigning is done. Each time that we're making this policy book, we're thinking of like what ways can we improve elections, you know? And by removing this, we thought that we were gonna make elections a lot better, you know, as a non-biased point of view. We were like, yeah, this is gonna be like thinking of all the what ifs, you know? And yeah, that was our decision. Ultimately though, it's up to the Senate, you know, overall to confirm this or amend it, you know, so yeah.
Any other?
Yes.
So speaking on behalf of my campaign for the fall election, I use chalk. Here I am. Senator Mays used chalk, here she is. Senator Pugh and Senator Kennedy used chalk, and here they are. My campaign on the RHA, just as the president of the RHA, Sam Rogers, has said, I use chalk for that. Here I am. Same with Trevor, I believe, used chalk too for his campaign for the Clover. I do think that it is helpful. I think it's a branding technique that when people walk outside, not only do they see your posters and the different general posting board, but they see it as they walk across. Me and along with other senators were also reported because the biggest I guess understanding was that like the spacing of it's only a certain number of feet, but it's hard to even get a ruler to measure that. I used a piece of paper because I know a piece of paper is 11 inches, and I went across it to make sure and erase the parts that weren't, and that was very difficult. So maybe instead of if people like chalk, instead of getting rid of it entirely, getting rid of it in its totality, maybe like amending it so that it can, you know, the feet can be expanded or expand the number of times that you can have it on the LA quad or things like that. If that's an idea that anyone wants to have.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, I don't have a chalking question, but it's more of a clarification than a question. So help me understand, because I think, from my understanding, when someone gets a complaint, like for breaking an election rule, so if I did something wrong, the campaigns can be told to, their campaign activity can be suspended until their like hearing.
Okay. Okay, so your question, so I understand your question properly. Is that officially like with the process now? Is that you're asking? Is it with the process now or with the new? Okay. I'm gonna refer that.
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So that was taken out last semester, the ability for the J board to suspend a campaign before a hearing. So that's no longer the case. Yes.
So if I like use a campaign saying like, oh, the chalk is too big, like they're not in trouble until after like you look at it?
So what would happen is somebody or the elections commissioner would submit a complaint on the website. The prosecutor would look at it. He would either say, you can have a mediation, you can have a hearing, you can have all these options, and then the candidate themselves can choose what option they want, and it goes from there.
Okay, so they wouldn't face any repercussion until after it's been like somewhat evaluated?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for the commission?
Any questions on the other sections? No, dealing with shock or anything you want?
All right. Thank you very much. Do you have a question? Okay, go ahead.
I moved up into a peer debate.
Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right. Anybody want to speak? Yes.
I think as Senator Bardo was mentioning earlier, the fact was that there was only, the chalkings I feel like are just something to add to a campaign. And the only reason why there was so much trouble this fall election, especially for like 2020 senators, is because there was one violation submitted, and then the elections commissioner had to go around and check all the other ones. So I think either changing the stipulations for chalking rather than banning them may be better, or just make it more well-known. It was just a simple like misunderstanding on the size for the chalkings, and I think honestly that the chalkings do help promote a campaign better than without them.
This certainly isn't correct. As the reason that the chalkings were too big is not that Mr. Speaker, you in your previous role had to check the sizes. The reason that they were too big is that they were too big, and that people drew them too large. And so, I mean, I think if we want to remove the ability of campaigns to produce chalk drawings, fine. If not, fine. But I don't think the use of a tape measure is such an unbearable burden.
Yes.
I also think that these chalking, not that I did any in my campaign, I used none, I'm still elected, but I think that they add more publicity to the holding of these elections. So there aren't a lot of people that vote, as you can see in the special elections and things like that. So taking those chalkings away or just taking, more publicity for student government in general.
Yes.
I just have a question to
Sure.
Just like show of hands, how many people use chalkings in their elections?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, like I did it. I
New
don't know,
generation.
I also think.
Can I-
But I mean, like, I know a lot of people who did not, and they felt bad. It was just like not worth their time, but I also think, you should probably be able to make that your own decision about that. If you're running your own campaign.
Senator Pugh.
2 points. One, to clarify Senator Wolf's part is I wasn't talking about how like all the violations. We understand that violations were because they were bigger chalkings than like the restrictions. But the fact was that it wasn't all the senators going or all the candidates going after each other filing violations. It was one actual submitted violation, and then the elections commissioner filed all the other violations. So it wasn't people going at each other for that. And then to address Senator Hankins' point is the fact that the 2020 race and the campus at large race are the most contentious and the most with the most candidates for a few spots. That's why I think the chalking does help. And it's also, you can see that like as you move up in 2019, 2018, there's less chalkings because there's less competition. So there's less that you need to put yourself ahead in your campaign. So just to address that.
And please be aware to put your comments towards me, not towards any individual senator. Senator Hinton.
I also want to affirm like Deborah was talking about, and I think what's very telling about who used the chalking and who didn't is the new senators who are in the class of 2020. And I think it's, maybe I'm wrong, but if you've been elected, you're more likely to be elected again because people have already known you from previous campaigns. So for the like senators who didn't really have a name out there, people didn't really know who you were, I think maybe that was an important factor of it. And I think maybe like not getting rid of it altogether, but amending it and maybe like restricting like where it can be done may be helpful with people with it not being such a problem in the future.
Senator Barton.
I guess other points that were made, yes, the chalkings report because they're too big, mine specifically by 4 to 5 inches. But it was also my understanding that Senator Pintar's was targeted by her competitor, which I don't think is so much of a coincidence. And that was only about 4 to 5 inches long.
I was just going to point that like, I don't know, everyone used chalking, but especially for, I would say the class 2020 race, like no one knew that there was even like I think most people didn't know there was an undergraduate senate, and so like just the fact that we had something out there like mine said vote, I don't remember the exact days, but whatever the days were, and so like people were finally like, oh, there's a student government that people are running for, so I think that chalking was important because not everyone is going to be checking like the Facebook page or blah blah, so it gets more people aware that there is a race and like who's running.
Senator Palmer.
I believe to give the elections commissioner speaking rights.
Okay, is there a second to give the election?
Second.
All those in favor of giving the elections commissioner speaking rights?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, Senator Lickstein.
Yeah, so I just wanna So I totally understand the point that everyone thinks that the chalking really adds to their campaign experience. Like you guys are all sitting here right now, so something we did was really like successful. But just remembering that if this was to pass, then nobody at all would have chalking, so it's not like that there would be a disadvantage, that it would be the same level ground for everyone. It's not like any of the freshmen coming in, because it seems that the conversation is that it really benefits the new senators and like the freshman class, that there would be no chalking at all. So it's not like you're at a disadvantage or it's something that they've ever experienced, that they know nothing else other than that there was no chalking in the election process. So I think the election commissioner consistently does a really good job taking care of the elections and trying to make sure we all have a fair chance of getting here and doing what we want to do. And if he believes that that this is their job, that this is not going to affect us, I think that maybe we should consider it. But at the same time, I haven't used chalking, so I don't want to like step on anyone's toes here.
Any other thoughts? Okay, any motions? Yes, Senator Burkowski.
So I'm gonna make a motion just so we can vote on this and come to consensus. I move to remove the piece about campaigns being prohibited from chalking,
Okay. Is
so
there,
we can vote on it.
is there a second for removing? Sorry,
Remove that whole highlighted piece,
Okay.
just get rid of it.
so let me go to the actual bill here.
Mr. Speaker, a request for information.
Sure.
Is this motion to remove the highlighted piece and replace it with what was previously there, or to simply strike all language regarding chalk?
Would you like to specify?
I would like to remove the highlighted piece and put in the stuff that was already there.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do. I know, thank you.
Okay. This is the amendment. Is there a second to this amendment?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of this amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna say division and ask that we do a hand count. All those in favor, please raise your hand on this language. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all those opposed this language. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this language fails. And just so everybody knows, you do need a 2/3 majority to amend the possible here. So, are there any other points or motions on the possible? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt. Yes.
Motion to table the policy book until next meeting.
Okay.
I object.
I'll try Senator Burkowski's objection.
Can the election commissioner comment?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. As it is, this has been revised, this took hours of revision, and the joint committee has submitted and we have approved this policy book for you guys to then confirm it, because we already believe this is the improvement that needs to be done for the next election, and we do not know what more improvements should be done at this moment to it until the next elections happen. And if we table it until further on, then it's gonna delay in the manner in which the elections are gonna be held. Because already this Christmas, I'm gonna be thinking dates and process, OIT, contacting all the issues that happen, how to fix them before they actually happen. And without a policy book, I'm not able to do that 100%. So all the things that I have, if this is like changed into next semester, I have to throw it out the window, start again, and we might have elections a month later than normal, you know? And a key to the elections is having them on time, as we saw with the special elections, since they were during finals time, then there was a low turnout. And, you know,
Yeah, that was expected. I will say really quick that JSEP is required to submit a new policy book before the next election cycle anyway, so this may not be the same policy book that's up in a few weeks.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt policy book.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of adopting the policy book, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it is adopted. Okay, I'm not amending the agenda, I'm just writing down what happened, so I remember. Because usually I have another computer. Okay. Okay, we will move to resolution 16-17-003. Senator Pugh, would you like to come up and speak on it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the original.
Yes, this is the original, so I know there was a lot of contentious debate on this. I made amendments to it, so if someone wants to move into debate, I can make an amendment, I can introduce the amendments, and then we can move from there. That's all I need.
Hold on, do you have a question for the sponsor? Okay, there's a, okay, all those in favor of moving to debate, say aye.
Aye.
That's the order. We don't.
I know. We're moving into a period of debate. Is there any motion? Yes.
I move to amend.
Okay. I have it right here. Oh boy.
I'm just gonna start reading them while you pull it up.
Okay.
So I move to amend, the title to now read a resolution supporting the transgender community of American University. And then also, clause 2 will now be changed to read, whereas the rights of members of American University were targeted on November 11, 2016. And that, do you want me to read the rest? They're right there.
Yes.
Is it period debate?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Wait, sorry. We have to vote on the amendment.
I move to adopt the amendment by unanimous consent.
Any objection? Okay. Okay, now would you like to speak on it?
Yeah. Sorry, thank you, that was so rude. For the mess, were you right? Okay, I would, word this right. I think that the Westboro Baptist Church targeted more than just the transgender community. And I don't think that we want to exclude, like, they had anti-Semitic signs, they had other, I'm like, they had like racist signs, they had like obviously against the transgender LGBT community signs. But that if we're going to pass this resolution, that it should be all inclusive, so like anyone who felt targeted or unsafe by their visit. And like by doing it, just saying transgender, we're like not considering the fact that they were sitting there like saying anti-Semitic chants, racist chants, and things like that as well.
Okay. Senator Pugh.
I'm totally okay with that. I just wanted to point out that when I had the resolution up for the first time, people were just explaining how the Westboro Baptist Church came with the purpose of protesting the trans community. So like I'm okay with the amendment. Just like people were talking about how they came here for our transgender policies. So then to change that, I don't know.
No, so
I'm just confused. That's all.
Go ahead.
yeah, so I completely understand what you're saying, and I know that the purpose of their visit was because of our transgender policies, and I'm not trying to in any way discredit the like massive amount of harm or like that they caused to the like that community on that day. It's more so that I think that like we need to be all inclusive. Like we don't want to make it seem like we don't care about everyone who felt uncomfortable by it. I don't know. If people think I'm wrong, like, I don't care. So just tell me.
Senator Wolf.
I'll echo what Senator Lacy said, but more than that, I think the point of queers and allies and other members of the LGBT and specifically of the trans community is well taken. That the visit to our campus by several members of the Westboro Baptist Church should not be seen as an opportunity for us to make it known just how great allies we are. That is not, as I see it, appropriate. I think this is something that needs to be shown through action, because you can speak to activists for the trans community on our campus, and they will tell you a number of real substantive issues that they have that we could be doing real work on, and I think that coming to
Senator Sheehan.
I agree with Senator Wolf. I think the idea of this bill is really great. I think it also has an element of self-supporting everybody that was there and all the staff that worked there as allies to this marginalized community. And I think we need to take that into consideration. I really do like the idea behind this bill. I think for wording what Senator Lipsky was saying is that I think it should focus on transgender, but also recognize that there are people protesting other marginalized communities as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's been said, and I would just wonder aloud whether or not affected communities were consulted about this particular resolution before it was put up, because I think that's a really important part of advocating with people instead of for people. And I would be disappointed if that weren't the case. We've done it in the past. It's not really hard. People like to be reached out to, particularly with the racist incidents in Anderson. Senator Hankins and I reached out to the BSA and then passed a resolution with their input in this actual room. So it's something that I would encourage all senators to do in the future.
Senator Hankins.
Yeah, I feel like with this resolution, we're having a lot of the same conversations that we had with Senator Bukowski's resolution, in terms of where like how many, like what are marginalized communities, how we can include all the different marginalized groups that are affected by this bill and or that are affected by various things that happen on campus. And I just wonder about and also I think the idea of being too I don't know, like self-congratulatory or just like without backing up our words with actions. I feel like we kind of, it's a lot easier to pass a resolution than make a bill sometimes, because resolutions are just kind of what we all believe, but we don't necessarily do the things to back that up. So I think our hearts are in the right place with this, but I wonder if it could somehow be like combined with Senator Rakowski's bill, like with existing research, like things that, I don't know. I just don't want us to like pass something that's like not as good as it could be.
Senator Bartow.
Yeah, I agree with all points are made, especially Senator Dixon said. I mean, I think that this resolution should really target all targeted students, not just one specific community, because although the purpose of the West Baptist Church involved one aspect, when they went there, their actions showed another. So whether we work, I think we should definitely work with other organizations, work with the Committee on Diversity and Inclusion, really trying to make sure that this surrounds all aspects of what was said that day and who was targeted.
Senator Behan.
I think that I'm going to echo exactly what you said. I do believe that research has its purpose. And like, while it's great to sit in this room and talk about how great we need to be a part of these communities, that's great. But some of the complaints that I've gotten by talking to some of these communities on campus is that they feel like nothing has been done to actually put them in a position where they feel like they're being heard. So I think that the how right now is very important. So I would like that, I agree totally. Maybe we should just combine a bill of all the different groups of what's happening.
Sorry, you spoke twice. You can
Motion.
You can motion to suspend the rules if you want to. Did Senator Lipsky have a point?
No.
Okay. Any other points or motions? Give
I
a motion.
move.
Yeah.
I move to commit this resolution to the ad hoc committee on diversity and inclusion.
Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor of referring this resolution to the ad hoc committee on diversity and inclusion say aye. All those opposed?
No.
Okay. I'm going to say division, just to be sure. In favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 11 to 5. It is referred. Okay. We will move to a period of public comment. Senator Grant?
Can I speak in order? I have to wait for the.
Go to the order. Yep. Is there anybody from the public here wishing to speak? Okay. Senator Grant, you are recognized.
I just want to say, like, even though, like, if we may disagree with things, I would ask that everyone's, like, respectful while voting or doing things like that, just because we want this to be a good environment for us to work together. And I don't like the fact that people feel the need to act inappropriately or over emotionally while we're voting and making certain decisions.
Okay. Any other senators wishing to speak? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Noah for like handling us having the board.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Senator Lickstein.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone good luck on their finals and have a really good winter break. And like, you guys crush it.
Anybody else wishing to speak? Yes, Senator Sheehan.
Shout out Noah for handling that thing we went upstairs. You don't need to grow up, you're fine.
Thank you. I will say really quick that the 2 ad hoc committees met, and I don't have it with me right now. Basically, the chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee is Yami, and the vice chair is Sophie, and the chair of Governing Documents Committee is Tom, and the vice chair is Ryan. So congratulations to them. So over this winter break, I will send you guys, I won't send you too many emails. I'll send you one like at the beginning, one at the end. Just some things that I think you should consider, some things you should get ahead on. But I hope you have a happy holiday.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
did y'all have good of the order?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have office hours this week?
No, thank you. No office hours this week. Merry Christmas.
I've got a motion, so.
Do you have a motion?
Do we have to resume our regularly scheduled off hours next semester?
No, I will be sending out, that's one of the things I'll be sending out, a new doodle poll. I'll wait until the first week of classes for you to officially like start because nobody knows their schedule yet. So, thank you. Do you have any question? Okay. There's a motion.
And Mr. Speaker, with best wishes for the whole chamber for finals and for break, I move that the Senate do now adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? All those opposed? You're adjourned.